Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life, the podcast. You're listening to 5 Minute Fridays with Coach Myrna. Today, I want to talk on the topic, are you 40 and lonely? Or I should say, are you over 40 and lonely? You know, loneliness can be experienced at any age. Teenagers are not even exempt from feeling lonely, and especially if they have no friends. So, why am I talking about specifically loneliness after 40? Because in the heart of a woman over 40, right, it is more painful. We've been following culture that says that you need to be married by 30 and have kids by 35, and men now are saying that if you're over 35, then you have no value. So, yeah, it's been pounded into or the woman's head that if you're 40 and still looking for love, you're in a bad place. So, I heard this quote when I was single in my 40s that said, for a woman over 40 to get married, it is like winning the lottery. It's a 1 in a million chance. Can you believe that? So these are the messages that keeps replaying in our heads. And then, like I said, there's popular podcasts like the late Kevin Samuels, who talked about how high value men don't want women over 35. They're looking for the 21-year-olds. And, so the only man you can get if you're single over 35 is the low value man. That's the man that got no money, you know, maybe, doesn't have fitness, all the things that it's a high value man, the low value man does not. So he's saying that that's all you've got left in the pool. So when these messages are playing in your head and you're 40 and you don't have love and you're lonely, because that's the thing, you can be without a relationship and not be lonely. But if you're lonely, that's what I want to talk to you today. So loneliness in your 40s or later can feel like a death sentence. But ladies, I'm here to give you hope. I'm one of the ones that beat the odds. I got married twice after 40. So it can happen, right? You just have to bring something to the table. And the first thing you need to bring to the table, ladies, is that you've got to be fine, right? You've got to give those young girls a run for the money. Go to the gym, do strength training, and keep that body tight and firm. Nothing starts sagging in 40s, and even if it does, hey, go get one of those breast augmentations and perk those little babies up, right? So, but if you go to the gym, right, you would keep that body warm, that body firm. In high school, I ran track. So I've been in the gym all my life, right? I now walk a 5K every day. And I am toned and I'm firm. My husband said to me the other day that my tights are like tires. That's how firm they are. And I'm in my 60s, ladies. So if I can do it, you can do it. I'm just here to pass along the message that you don't start sagging in your 40s. You keep those babies up. You go to the gym, you walk, and you stay firm, right? The other thing is learn how to use makeup to accentuate your best features, right? There are people that are, when they get up out of bed, they're not beautiful, they're not attractive, but get somebody that gives them a makeover and they become beautiful. Now, you don't have to go to a makeup artist, but you can learn how to do your hair and how to put on your makeup. And when you walk down the road or walk into a room, the men are going to look. So you need to learn that, right? And finally, put something in your head so you can also be a good conversationalist. The dumb blonde, thing been out for years now. That was in the 60s. Now men want someone that they can have a conversation with or even build their kingdom. So when they're talking about building, they want someone that's got a job and, can contribute. It's one of the other things you bring to the table, right? So be like fine wine, ladies. Get better with age because we do. We can run circles around those 20-year-olds, okay? My husband was saying once, why would I want a 20-year-old? Why do I need to teach her something? I'm not her daddy. I want someone that already knows, who has been around the block already and can probably teach them a thing or two herself, right? So that's what you need to do. You need to look fine. You need to bring something to the table, look good, be firm. You've got a job, or you've got a career, right? So there's things that you bring to that table. And Ayanna Van Gant wrote a book years ago called In the Meantime. In the meantime, while you're waiting on love, there's things that you got to do, right? Will Smith says, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So you are ready for love to come knocking on your door, right? When the man comes, you don't got to go get ready because you are ready. So what I want to leave with you today, there's a few things that you need to do to make sure that you are ready for love. And you know what? I'm giving you a lot of sayings. There's a saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. So that's another way of saying, when you're ready for love, it will show up. If you're not ready, God is not going to send you anything. How can you be praying and asking for a man or a husband and you're not ready? Okay. So, number one, I want you to listen to your heart again. Ask yourself, what do I truly need to feel loved and seen right now at this time in my life? One of the things we women do or used to do is to jump into relationships based on sexual attraction. I put my hand up, all right? I used to do the same thing too. And that's the number one reason that we're single and lonely after 40. So this time around, know what you want. For example, do you like going out to dinner? Do you like going dancing? Do you like going to plays and being entertained or going out, period, right? Then don't hook up with a man who only wants to sit at home and watch sports 24/7. God, there's lots of them. Sports are now on 5 out of 7 nights a week. And there's men that just love sitting there with that remote. They don't want to do nothing or go anywhere, right? So you don't want to hook up with that. Else, guess what? You'll be in a relationship and you'll be lonely. And that's even worse than being single and being lonely. And it can also be reversed. My niece was telling me just recently that her husband watches zero TV. And she told it to me, and she was not pleased about that. She says that her 2-year-old daughter is who she has to watch stuff with because her husband is not there to watch any movies, anything at all, right? So they have no at-home entertainment, and I'm sure he doesn't go out either. So what are you left with, right? Yourself. So yeah, I mean, these are things that show up right away. So you will know that. Do you have a homebody person? Somebody who likes to go out? I love going out and seeing the couples out for dinner and a movie and dancing and things like that. So, yeah, if that's what you want, that could be easily determined in the first 5 minutes, right? So don't get in a relationship and then be upset with the man because he's sitting at home watching TV all day long because you knew that going in, right? So that would be a deal breaker for me because I love entertainment. That's my relaxation time. In the evening, I work hard, and in the afternoon or the evening, I unwind by watching TV. And I would hate to have a husband that doesn't appreciate that with me. Okay. All right. So number two is journal daily. Let your emotions flow without judgment. Your journal becomes the safe space where truth can breathe. What did you learn about yourself from your last relationship? What changes do you want to make in the next one? Right? Have conversations with your journal. Chat GPT is awesome. Ask questions and then record answers in your journal. Sometimes Chat GPT gives you homework, stuff that you need to do. Like, what do you want in your next relationship? Write that down. What qualities do you want in a man? What are deal breakers? These are things that Chat GPT can give you. You don't need it, no longer need to hire a coach to get those answers, which is something that I used to do. Help women find love. And those are the things that I would have them write out. Visualize what's your perfect relationship. What is it that you want a man to look like? What you want you and the man to do. All those things was part of my coaching sessions. So now you chat GPT can be your coach for free. All right. Number 3, practice self-compassion. The same grace you give others, give to yourself. But don't have a pity party. I have several family members and friends who are lonely after 40. My sister is 60. My mom is 87. My sister handles it by keeping busy. She travels alone. She goes horseback riding. She goes to plays, concerts. She even started going to the bar by herself. So give yourself grace and keep it moving. There's nothing wrong with you. The right relationship will find you. Right. Number 4, rediscover what lights you up. You're not the same woman you were 10 or 20 years ago. And that's a beautiful thing because we all change and we all evolve, right? Right now, I love to walk in the park while listening to books and podcasts. It lights me up. I mean, it's a 10 for me. But I still love good music and dancing. So now I found ladies that go out every Monday night and follow a Motown band, and we go and dance our hearts out. My husband isn't home. He doesn't dance. So I go out and I found my tribe. So now I am very happy. So maybe your tribe could be a book club or gardening or whatever it is that you like to do. Right. When you reconnect with your essence, your relationships begin to shift naturally because you are happy from the inside. People sense your energy, your clarity, your worth, and they respond differently. Your beauty shines from the inside out, and men will be drawn to you. It's called your aura. Clean that up. Go rub out all the negative things. I do a meditation like that. You find blotches, rub it out, right? So, yes, all the negativity and all the things, beliefs in your mind that is, dulling your aura, find them and rub it out. It's one of the things that you can do by journaling. So, how do you get from loneliness to wholeness? Because loneliness is not your final destination. It's a divine signal that your soul is craving deeper connection. The reason that your soul is here is to find love, to experience love. That is basically one of the top reasons that your soul reincarnates in this body. So when you feel lonely, is because your soul is longing for that connection, right? But the truth is that you're never alone. You are a spiritual being, right? Having a human experience. So God is spirit, and God has been with you through every silent dinner, every tearful night, every moment that you felt unseen. He is right there. I had a friend a long time ago that said that God was her husband. She was lonely as well. She was living alone. She was in her 60s or something, or 50s, right? She said God was her husband and she talked to him all day. So I didn't tell you to do that, but recognize that he's there, that he's right there walking alongside you. And when you reconnect with him, you reconnect with yourself. And from that place of wholeness, you can love again more authentically, more deeply, and more freely. So that's all I have today as far as being lonely after 40 or being lonely at any time in your life. I chose the heading of 40 or over 40 because, like I said, when you're in that space or when you're in that group, then it feels worse. But, you know, like I said, people are lonely at any point in time if they don't have connection because 85% of our happiness comes from our relationships and our connections. And if we don't have that, then we feel wanting, we feel unfulfilled, we feel lonely. So I hope that I was able to share or shed some light and give you some hope that it will happen for you. Just be prepared and watch that beautiful, perfect relationship walk through the door. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of 5 Minute Fridays with Coach Myrna. I would love for you to hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, or like if you are watching on any of the podcast players, would love for you to subscribe as well. I do this every 2 weeks where I come to you and I give you lessons so that you can live your best life right now. All right. So thanks for tuning in. Remember, like and share and comment. All right. Thanks again. Until next time, namaste.